So we're at the NFAA Indoor Nationals, and we're meeting with Shawnn Vincent.
Yeah.
Shawnn, where are you from?
Washington State, born and raised Darrington, Washington. Home of one of the best outdoor national ranges in the world.
Dude, I got to get to that one.
Yeah. Dude, it's I grew up there, man. I've been shooting that since I was a wee little lad. And that's probably one of my favorite places to shoot. So.
Well, I know everybody says you got to go to Reading. I've been to Reading, but I've never been to Darrington. Everybody says you got to go there.
5 28 target courses, a disabled course, shooting in the trees, shooting out of the trees. It's unbelievable.
So you shoot in a number of different venues, obviously, in different organizations.
Yep.
And I know one that's like pretty special to you, and we'll get to that one. But for the National Field Archery Association, especially for you growing up in Darrington, I assume that's kind of like where you got started at.
Outdoor Nationals, yeah. That's probably one of my first big, actually it was my first big outdoor shoot, or first big nationals. I didn't do Vegas or any of that before that. That was my first, hey, let's go try it and see what happens. And I think I shot it with my bow hunter setup, and yeah, that was fun at 80 yards with stacking pins and everything else. So, but it was fun. I mean, that's where you get the bug. I mean, you start out just shooting for fun, and then you go and do a couple little tournaments, 3D tournaments, and then hop up onto the big stage, and you're either hooked or you decide you want to stay at 3Ds and local.
So a lot of people don't know all the different formats.
Mm-hmm.
When you say outdoor nationals, what's that format around?
Field nationals. You got hunter, field round, animal round. You got max out to 80 for the field round. Hunter is right just a little bit shorter than that. And then you got the animal round, shooting an animal paper target with a white dot on it, extra point. So it's probably one of the funnest ones to shoot, I think, especially in Darrington where you got some hills to shoot. No offense to the guys out east where you're shooting, flatland, but
Flatlanders. and those target faces are similar to what we're shooting here, in that they're blue and white. Well, some of them I guess they're all black and white. Sorry.
They're black and white. Yep. The field is it's got a black dot in the middle, white 3-4 rings, and then 1-2 are black again. And then for the hunter round, you got a white dot in the middle, and everything else is black. So.
Would you say that that's your specialty kind of thing, or if there was one NFAA format you could pick, which one would you shoot?
Well, Reading is special. Reading's a special one, but NFAA wise, I'd go with field. Field national is probably the funnest one. Yeah.
You obviously shoot pro.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about your setup.
Shooting the new Prime X1 39. I moved up to that from STX 36 that I shot last year. I'm really enjoying the forgiveness of the 39 over 36. 36 shot well for me last year. Shot some of my highest ever USAT scores. Brought me close to making the team last year. And this year with the 39, shot 899 in Vegas, went to Nîmes, shot my highest ever indoor FIDA score, 595, tied for second. Nice. Ended up after tiebreakers being fourth. So, so far I brought home a little bit of money at every tournament, and I gotta give that to the Prime X1 39. I got a bunch of different companies I shoot for, Doinker Staves, stabilizers, True Ball Excel, Bright Strings, Wade Smith strings there. We got Shrewd, Kafaru packs. Got my bow shop back home, Riverside Archery. I got a ton of stuff. So I'm not sure if you want specifics, but if you are, lens choice, I'm using the Feather Vision lens, the Verde Plus right now for indoors with a decent sized dot on there to cover most of the white on these blue face targets. For outdoors, I shoot a DSA, 19 thou pin, center drilled lens with green fiber.
So your setup for outside field rounds is, would you say, drastically different than this?
Yeah, I actually just shot it. I haven't shot it since last USAT of the year last year, and I put it on there because we had a nice 60-degree day in Washington for the first time in months, and I put it on there, and it was like, holy cow, that's a small little aiming compared to what I've been, looking at a big black dot forever. So it definitely is a change. It's going to take me a little bit to get used to, but, a couple days of shooting will get me right back into it.
What else do you change besides just the lens in your aiming aperture?
I don't really change anything. I don't shoot a light. I've never shot a light or anything like that, which, when and if I start moving towards ASAs, which is possible in the coming years, we'll see. I'll probably end up having to do that for the darker targets or, going back and forth. Right now, though, that's really all I change. I might, for like Reading style shoots where I have to shoot a little bit longer, I might move my peep up a little bit just so I can reach those longer targets. Because I naturally, I go to a real short peep indoors and most of my other stuff. So
When you say short peep, you mean your distance from your peep to your
arrow, full draw. Yeah, I've heard people talk. They've got 4.5, anywhere from 4.5 to 5 inches, or 4 inches, something like that. And I think I'm at like 3.25, 3.5. I really like getting in. It just feels like a more solid anchor point when I do that. So
Gotcha. And then when you shoot outdoor, well, we're shooting indoor nationals right now this weekend, and you're shooting. What were you shooting for arrows last night for size?
Shooting X cutters.
So you're going to shoot the same things in field and Reading?
Okay. So yeah, that would change. Right now, I have Pierce Tours set up, gold tip Pierce Tours. I'm actually changing from what I shot last year. Last year I shot 340s for all my FIDA stuff outdoors. I'm going to try out some 400s this year. I'm hoping to get a little forgiveness, maybe a little bit better grouping with those. Not that my 340s didn't group well. I'm just trying to change something just a little bit, get a little more perfection out of them, I guess you could say. Forgiveness is everything, and just finding that setup that forgives, in the worst conditions. I mean, any of that USAT stuff, you got 30-mile-an-hour winds at any given time, so you got to find what works for you. Still shooting the same 140 grains in the front, cut about 28.5, somewhere in there, and pin knocks. Yeah, not really changing too much. Just a smaller diameter arrow, same release, same draw length, same stabilizer setup as of right now. But once we get into it, I'll play with that a little bit more with the wind and stuff. So.
And the USAT setup is the same as your NFAA outdoor setup then, basically.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's something that's really unique, I think, with you, or something that's near dear to your heart, however you want to say that.
Yeah.
Really proud of wearing a USA logo on the back of your shirt, and I think that's super cool. So that's actually kind of what I wanted to get into the podcast for.
Yeah.
Like, why is that such a big deal to you?
Not. If you know me, you've seen me shoots and stuff like that. You know that I'm in law enforcement. I've been doing that for a little over 6 years now. Prior to that, I've served in the Navy. Did 2 deployments into Bagram, Afghanistan on the ground, and then 1 to Iwakuni, Japan. Never saw a boat in my 4 years in the Navy, which everybody, you're going to the ship. Nah. And also with the Navy, I was going in to see the world and got stationed in my hometown, or pretty darn close to my hometown. So I did see a little bit of the world, but and then kind of what stems from all that, I've grown up in public service since the age of 14. I was a volunteer firefighter in Darrington. My dad was a lieutenant. My uncle, who's now passed, he was a chief up there. I got another uncle serving in the Army. My grandpa was in the Navy. He's 100 years old right now. His ship was at Arizona. He got lucky, I guess you could say, like the week before or something like that. He got transferred, so he missed the bombings Pearl Harbor there. But he wears that hat proud, the Arizona hat there, and he's still firing on all cylinders. Living in an assisted living home over in Greenville, Idaho, with my aunt and uncle, my mom and dad. And he's, every time I go over to see him, he's doing, I'm still doing my jumping jacks and lifting my weights and, he's got a bunch of ladies around him that he's always, being a ladies' man. So that's my grandpa. But with all that, the public service, my military service, my law enforcement service, when I did make the team back in 2015, it was near and dear to the heart. I mean, wearing USA, it takes on a whole new meaning. I mean, there's a ton of people here. I mean, great shooters, and I don't take anything away from what they do. But when you've served your country, when you're still serving your country, your cities, your whatever, it means a lot more. I remember my first tournament wearing I'm not sure if we want to go into this now.
Yeah, go ahead.
My first tournament, I got the invite to go down to the Kim Blom tournament down in Mexico. Ended up going down there with Mackenzie Brown, Lexi Keller, and Colin. And my first ever tournament, nervous as heck, wearing USA on the back, my name's on the back, family proud, everything like that. I'm just having a good old time. I mean, people are calling me the crazy American because I'm dancing and just having a good old time, enjoying my first tournament,
Yep.
And then we got the head-to-head match. My qualification wasn't great. Nerves got me. But I figured it out for the head-to-head matches, and so I shot my way up and My last one I shot against, I think the guy he was from Russia, top 25 or something in the world, and I beat him. And with that win, it put me into the medal matches. I mean, I was guaranteed gold or silver. I was going to come home with a medal, and I about broke down. I pretty much was in tears, and I had Lexi and Mackenzie like, what's going on, you know? And they're like, you got, they don't understand it. I mean, they don't understand the meaning of that. They don't understand all that you've gone through in your life, everything that you've been shown in your life. And they're great shooters. Great shooters. I mean, Mackenzie's an Olympian, and Lexi's done really well. Colin, he was there for me, but it takes on a whole new meaning when you've got all that background. And I didn't come away with the gold, but Slovenia got me in the gold medal match shooting under Cathedral. But I came home with a silver, an individual, and a team silver with Lexi. Probably that's the highlight, wearing USA, coming out to Eye of the Tiger. This is everybody rooting USA. It's a feeling you can't replicate that. You can't.
Yeah.
So with that, hopefully this Arizona Cup will go well, and I'll be back up in the top 8 and back on the team.
Gotcha.
So.
And you'll go to Yankton as well, or no?
Depends on kind of how this weekend goes.
Gotcha.
I enjoy Yankton. I've been there a bunch, but it's with my job and already taking a lot of time off for the shoots I've been to, and then the USAT's coming up. And then you got hunting season coming.
Yep.
Yeah,
you gotta make sure that's covered.
But if I were to clean this weekend, I would definitely consider it, because then I'd be in the running for shooter of the year. And I know there's a chance, but we'll see. Feet is my game, so we'll see what happens.
Gotcha. How much effort do you put into, or time do you put in during the week? Would you say, on the average, if someone's to ask you, hey, how much do I need to practice to get to Shawnn Vincent level?
Well, so it depends. Indoor, obviously, it's a little bit easier for me, because I've got Riverside Archery's 5 minutes from my shop, from our new house we got, so I can shoot indoors there almost 6 days a week, and then I can go to the club the other days. But I shoot probably, I don't know, for Blueface, a couple hundred arrows a day. At least 2 games, and then some form work in there.
So it probably takes you 2 to 3 hours.
Easy, yeah. Especially when you got people coming into the shop, you're helping out with the shop every once in a while, and helping out with kids. I've got a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old, Emery Macy, and they yell at me now if I don't take them. So it gets a little hard to get a full, solid, just me practicing. But the wife's really accommodating, Danielle there. So, but yeah, then outdoors, I think with my yard, I can practice a good 2-3 hours there and shoot in my yard, 50 meters. When it comes to preparation for Reading, and it's same, a couple hours easily practicing. And then Reading practice, I got to go up to the club because that's really about the only place I can shoot 100 yards and up in the trees and stuff. But it's, a couple hours, good solid couple hours. I listen to my body a lot. If I start feeling tired, start feeling wore out, I won't shoot as much, or I'll take a day off, give myself a break. I go to the chiropractor every 2 weeks, like clockwork, massage at least once a month, if not twice. Since doing that, my scores have rocketed.
You've got a pretty, I would say, as opposed to talking to everybody else here, including myself, you have a pretty regimented schedule that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like when I first met you was, and I may have met you earlier a long time ago.
Yeah,
the first time we hung was in Reading 3 years ago.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I think it was my first shoot that I came back to after being gone for a while.
Yep.
Man, dude, you've excelled tremendously. And I would argue that it's because you have a sort of a regimen, because a lot of people don't have one. They just, if I get time to shoot, I'm going to go shoot.
Yeah.
And then it seems like you schedule things out. So, walk me through the process of we're going to be done shooting indoors this weekend for the most part. I don't know if you have any more.
No, I'm done.
So
Look forward to
everybody's ready to get outside. Walk me through that process of what you'll do. We talked about equipment differences, but what is to reach your goals, whatever those may be? I guess first of all, what are your goals for the summer, and then how do you expect? Do you have a program already in your head what you're going to run to get there?
So I'll get back. So with my job, luckily I've got the flexibility of my job. I make my own schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm in law enforcement, I'm a game warden, so I adjust my schedule to when the people are going to be out there. So I have times when I can okay, well, I'm going to work evening, so I got all day to shoot, or I work morning and have all afternoon. So my schedule will be when I get back. Actually, I got to work Monday when I get back from here, but I've already got X136 set up for outdoors. I'm going to switch over my 39, get that, and then I'm going to test the 2 out a little bit. I haven't shot the 36 really at all. 39's been just so comfortable. So I'll test those out a little bit probably this first week here. I'm leaning more towards 39 already, and I haven't even shot it outdoors. And then I will start, because Arizona's here in about 2 weeks. So that's my preparation. That's the one I got to prepare for now. So I'll spend a lot of time 50 meters at the house there. Probably spend a little bit of time in the shop doing some tuning, making sure, check the tuning, whether it be walk back, bear shaft, whatever. I'll play with it all. I want every bit of forgiveness I can get out of that arrow and my bow. Got to be comfortable. So I'll do that. My goal, as right now, is to be back on the USA team. So I'm focusing on USATs right now, and then throw Redding in there. Then there's also an OPA style shoot in Kellogg, Idaho. I'll be going to 4th of July weekend. Probably the funnest. I mean, I haven't been to Levi's shoot, which I know is probably awesome shoot, but this is probably as close as I'm going to get to that because just timing and time off. I can't, as of right now, make an OPA. So I go to that, and it's a blast. They put on a great shoot. You take a gondola up the top of the mountain and work your way down. It's a fun shoot.
Cool.
So that's where I'm at USAT-wise is my focus right now. My goal is to be on the USA team. Arizona is where I'm lacking right now because after Arizona last year is really when I started this regimen of going to the doctor, going to chiropractor, going to massage, really focus on bearing down. And Arizona, I have like 21 points right now. So if I do decent there, should be in the top 8. So.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how much percentage of time would you say you tune versus actual like working on yourself during a 4-hour day practice session? Or do you even jack with your bow? Do you set it up and then just forget it? Or do you tinker around?
I'll tinker a little bit. In the initial tune, I'll play with it. I'll spend a couple hours on it, luckily with X1 for indoors, I only spent like half an hour on it because put an arrow on there, put the rest on there. 2 shots, I had a bullet. So I was like, oh, okay, I don't want to mess with that. But I'll tinker with it. I was just this last weekend after sectionals, I had shot a 119 at our Northwest sectionals, which I wasn't really happy with, but I did it. And so after that, I was like, man, I'm practicing. And I just felt like I was floating a little bit. I'm trying to get up into my peep instead of being right there. And so I moved it down just like a 1/16 of an inch, and it was like money. I was like, come on, man. But that's what happens. I mean, you got to pay attention to just that little thing. I mean, that could save me here. I mean, who knows what will happen this weekend here.
Yep.
So I tinker periodically through. I shot great in Eames, came home and decided I was going to mess with strings, and I probably shouldn't have, and kind of jacked up my bow a little bit. And I had to piece it back together, get it back to where I wanted it, and finally got it back there. But and then once I get it set up, it's more, I'll go out there. I got to get the strength up to shoot 50 meters, hold my bow up that long, shoot in the wind. I mean, any chance I'm out in the wind at the house, I will be. And I'll still tinker a little bit, but I try, I'll periodically check it. I'll put it on the draw board, make sure the timing, the draw stops are all the same, and then I'll just shoot for the most part. And then it's a lot about repetition and getting that mental mindset back into the outdoor game. I mean, let down a little bit more, Indoors, I hate letting down. Especially this game because you're already shooting 60 arrows. So, but it's trying to get that, okay, my grip, all right, is everything set, feet set, cool, anchor, all right, now just pull.
Is that like a mental image process that you're going through?
Yeah, and I mean, and so there's times when I won't shoot a full, 5-6 arrows in the end. I'll just shoot good arrows.
Gotcha.
I don't like shooting bad arrows. I just don't. It kind of frustrates me. So, but yeah, that's kind of how it is, and I'll periodically check things, but other than that, once the initial tune's done, it's just little tinkering here and there. So.
Gotcha. So going in, you're making your decision to shoot pro. That was 100% based on you want to wear that USA logo on the back of your shirt.
I think that was a lot of it. Yeah, that was. I mean, at the time, I didn't really know what USATs were per se. I wanted to, hopefully someday we get to try out for Olympics here. Who knows with the compound?
Yep.
I mean, hopefully it'd be cool. So that was kind of in the back of my mind, but because I didn't know a lot about archery when I first kind of got into this, I got into it about 10 years ago. I got late into the game after kind of after I got in the Navy. Me and a buddy just started shooting some local 3Ds and fun. So after that, started shooting the NFAAs, runner-up shooter of the year in 2010 as an amateur, and just kind of got locked into it. I mean, I got laid off from the mill and bought a bow with my severance check. My wife probably still wasn't happy with me then, but
that didn't go so well.
No, but I did it, and I had fun doing it. I'm still having fun doing it. I mean, if you're not having fun in this, I mean, last night shooting with the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, I'm shooting 10 yards. I haven't shot 10 yards except for like ready. I'm shooting, aiming in the 4. I'm like, I don't want to move my sight. And then we get into it where the kids are like, oh, I want you to shoot my bow. So I haven't shot a recurve, I don't think ever. I mean, maybe once, and I shot 2 recurves last night. Actually hit the target. And they wanted me to shoot their little compounds. I could barely get the bow back past my face to see down the peep, and shot those. I mean, signing autographs. I mean, I'm sitting here doing it with these kids, and then I've got a 9 and a 5-year-old who yell at me if I don't take them to shoot. So it's just so much fun to watch. I mean, I did a couple live feeds on my Archery or on my regular Facebook last night, and I mean, I'm a goofball. I'm saying Facebook Live 17 times on there. I mean, we're rewatching. I'm like, man, I'm like a kid myself, doing this, but it's so much fun.
That's the best part of being a pro.
It is. I mean, I may have my worst day of shooting here this weekend. Who knows? But I mean, it's just like I kind of relate to elk hunting. I may have a worst elk hunt of my life, but if I hear a bugle, for
Right.
me, I may have the worst shoot of my life here this week. Who knows? But I got to have fun with these kids.
Yeah.
So life is not all about paychecks, shooting archery, shooting perfect scores. It's about bettering the world, bettering yourself, and bettering the kids that are coming up behind us. So.
Cool. Well, thinking of kids looking up to you as a pro, is there anybody that you could name, and they don't have to be a pro or whatever, is there an idol or somebody that's driven you in one way or another in your archery career?
So, I mean, everybody says Jesse Broadwater, and I totally agree with. I mean, Jesse. So I met Jesse at Outdoor Nationals at Darrington when I was a club president up there a while back. I was a firefighter EMT at the time up there as well. So we're up there on this. We're up there shooting, and I'm president, so we're making sure that everything's going on. And this is where I earned I mean, I knew Jesse. I knew Jesse was a great shooter, but when you earn a little respect for a guy. We're up there. We get a call. A lady who's got cancer. She's up on top of the course. She's having trouble. She needs an ambulance. And so I'm first one there. I'm firefighter EMT. So I'm like, hey, I need a couple guys to go. Jesse threw down his bow, threw down his stuff, and hopped in the truck with me and my fire chief who was there. And we ran up there. I think there's one other. I don't remember who the other guy. There's another archer who hopped in too. But I mean, for him, he's in the. Just got done shooting, or I think he's just got done practice or something like that. For him to hop in the truck, I mean, just to go up there and help, I mean, he didn't have to do that.
Yep.
I mean, most people wouldn't do that. I mean, most people are like, oh, they got it, whatever,
Right.
Walk the other way. But that really shows character of a guy. I mean, and then look what he's doing now with the Pink Arrow Project and everything. I mean, that, and then they just did something, I think his son Tristan did something for veterans.
Yep.
I mean, that's selfless. I mean, he's bringing the kids up right. I mean, that's a guy you got to look up to. I mean, everybody says it. I mean, he's got a ton of people following him, but that's a guy who's earned my respect. I mean, even before I was really a pro. So.
Yeah, guides a lot of the decisions you make, probably.
Yeah, I mean,
somewhat.
I mean, I don't shoot a Matthews anymore, but I mean, to watch him and do, it doesn't matter what bow he's shooting in his hand. I mean, that guy can pound with anything.
Right.
I mean, he could pick up a bear, a PSC, a prime, anything, and shoot.
That's
pound
awesome.
it. So, yeah,
Cool.
It's probably a good thing that I ran into at Nationals up there in Darrington and kind of earned a little respect for him because I mean, you can follow him and learn a lot. So,
Any tips that you would give if you could give one tip to somebody? What would it be?
it's one arrow at a time. Whether it be in life, whether it be in archery, it's one arrow, one step at a time. I mean, you're gonna fall. It's just a matter of how you recover and how you take that next arrow. You can't bring back the last arrow. I live every day of my life. Everything happens for a reason. God, He gives us everything in our life, and I haven't really gave a testimony on all that, but He's there. I mean, he's there for you. And so, I mean, that one arrow, that one step, there's always someone with you, whether it's your family, him. Even if you don't believe, he's still guiding you. So everything happens for a reason, and I think it's all because of him. So,
Well, dude, I look up to you.
Hey, appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for doing the little podcast,
Dude,
whatever we got going on.
Anytime, man. These are fun, and hopefully something good came out of it. So,
well, for sure. We appreciate your service and everything you do for the sport and our country.
Well, I appreciate it. We don't hear it often enough, and I mean, I'm not sure how many people do this, but I mean, I make it a point if I see a veteran or if I see a law enforcement officer, go and thank them. It's a selfless job that people, I mean, especially nowadays, people don't like us. I mean, there are people, but we get a lot more, especially on the news media, a lot more beat downs than we do praises. So, if you see it, do it, please. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Good luck this weekend.
Hey, thank you. Good luck
Turn
to you,
up.
man.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Peace.